we played a portion of an interview. Jerry Jones does a weekly interview on the flagship station for the Dallas Cowboys, and he does that every Tuesday, 105.3 The Fan. I want to play you the question that was asked. I want to put everything in context here. So here's the question that was asked by the co-host to Jerry Jones.
Jerry, 1970, a little different from this past off season in building the team we're talking about today, which there was a lot of criticism that you guys didn't add, didn't spend, and don't add, and don't spend, and are not aggressive enough with some of the problems that are still haunting the Cowboys today that we see play out on the field. That's the point of talking about the offseason.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so Jerry then goes off on a tangent, but then he gets around to answering the question, and this is what it sounded like.
Oh, I remember those criticisms very well. Okay, so what?
Or are they playing out to be accurate?
What's your point? What's your point? This is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask
why.
why.
A job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
So Sean and RJ, the morning show on the Cowboys flagship radio station, 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. So RJ Choppy joins us on the program. How did that interview end, RJ?
We went into a couple of other topics, and we ended it as normal. Now, it went longer than normal. Usually they're about 15 minutes. This one went closer to a half hour. But, yeah, it ended, obviously less contentious than it was in that moment. But when it ended, we did know that that was not a normal Tuesday appearance from Jerry, which we've had almost 300 of them with him. It's been 14 years that we've done that interview with Jerry, basically the same time on Tuesdays, and we've never had anything like that.
Any follow-up from Jerry Jones after the interview, given the fallout from it?
No, not to us, and we haven't heard anything, and I'm sure that it would have been relayed to us had there been, but no. And we actually talked yesterday. We were wondering if he would call in today. He has an appearance Tuesday on the station and then Friday on the station. So we haven't heard from him. That may change as the week goes on, but as of now, no.
Did you take the threat seriously that you guys are interchangeable parts there on the flagship station?
No. I mean, everybody's interchangeable, I suppose, but
he seems serious, RJ.
It did seem serious, but we were sitting there wondering, was he talking about like removing us physically, or just he's going to just do his interview on another show on our station at a different time of day? Which, I mean, if he wants to do that, I mean, I suppose that's his prerogative. But no, our company, our bosses have been behind us. They've not said a word about that.
But your job is to, I don't know if he expects team-friendly questions. I don't know if you've ever felt the need to do that to him. It certainly didn't sound like when you said, hey, that's not my job. Your job is to ask questions that fans want answers to. Has he ever submitted questions or said you can't ask me about certain things?
He's never submitted questions. There was maybe one time, and I think this was 8-10 years ago. It was about week 3 or 4 of the Colin Kaepernick discussion that was going on, and we had asked him 3 and 4 weeks in a row about it, and they were just like, let's just move on from that and let's talk football this week. That's the only time. He's been great. Like that's why this was so surprising. He's never been sensitive. Of all the owners that we've dealt with in town, and even owners that we've had on from other markets, we've never had one that is more accepting of difficult questions. We don't get personal with them. That's like the one rule. Every media member here knows it. Don't talk family with them. Don't get personal. He's never had a problem with answering tough questions. When you're the owner and the GM and you put yourself out on radio twice a week, every week, it's hard to avoid those questions. To his credit, he's never had a problem with them. And that's what made this so surprising and disappointing, to be frank.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's weird. You kind of look in the mirror and mortality sets in. You're 82. You're celebrating your birthday. You're at home. You're getting embarrassed again. You've lost, 4 in a row at home going back to last year. You're giving up over 40 points a game in 3 of those 4. It almost felt like this is the tipping point, which sounds crazy considering the Cowboys haven't really done anything on a big scale in 30 years.
Right. And I think the frustration boiled over. This is not the year they wanted. He wanted to go all in. That was a big talking point in the offseason, the all in. They didn't go all in. They went all in on what they had. Everybody was on entering camp basically on a 1-year deal. Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Mike McCarthy, they were all entering on a 1-year deal. And I think that he finally finally realized that, hey, we screwed up in the offseason, and now it's back on me because I've said, put it on me, and now it's on him. And, you understand, and I think that he does want to win really, really bad. He wants one more title, and he knows he's 82 years old. When you're 82, you know that your time is not, you don't have 50 years left. He's under more pressure to win. That's, he's under a lot of pressure, and most GMs are under pressure, but most GMs don't own the team.
But I also wonder about this national narrative, and Dan Orlovsky brought this up, that he thinks if you gave Jerry a choice of getting publicity every single day on ESPN and Fox and radio shows or winning a Super Bowl, and he loves the daily, you're talking about my product. And we've seen the value of that because they haven't won anything. Nobody gets more attention for doing less than the Dallas Cowboys do. He's a businessman, RJ. I know he wants to win, but he also is selling a product every single day.
He is. He's the best salesman. And I've always called this the world's largest mom and pop organization, and it is. There's an element of that here. But yeah, he does want to win. There's no doubt he wants to win. But and when he has said, "I'll write," you don't know the size of the check I would write to win. We got it. We wonder about that because
he could have written a check to Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
that's the check I wanted him to write.
Yeah, he could have wrote a check to any number of head coaches over the years, and he hasn't done that necessarily. But yeah, does he want to win, or does he want to win with him being the general manager? And would he accept winning, and would it feel as rewarding if, say, Bill Belichick was in here and Bill Belichick was in charge of personnel and Jerry was just the owner? And I don't know that he would.
Yeah, and that's weird. It's weird to say. But can you remember a worse loss? If you have, let's take out playoffs, but the timing of this loss, 82nd birthday, they've been blown out at home. And can you think in all the years that you've been in Dallas, was there a more historically bad loss?
The 2008 final game of the year, they lose to Philadelphia. If they win, they go to the playoffs. They win the division. They lose. It was 44-6. It's a bad. That was the. I think that was the TO. That's my quarterback game. My memory's. My memory's going, but that was bad. That was bad, and they felt it because that was a really good team, and they went into the camp that year thinking, "Hey, we got a real chance to win." This was a bad loss, though. It was his birthday. They got embarrassed by a team that treated that game like a statement, like a Super Bowl, and the Cowboys treated it like a regular season game. And Detroit was evident. I think you see San Francisco when you see they play San Fran and they get beat. This was different because this was now another team that did to you what the Niners have done so many times over the last few years. And they made the Cowboys really look old. They made them look slow. And they made them look not as talented.
Good to talk to you, RJ. Glad you're still employed.
For now. For now. Thank you.
All right. Sean and RJ, the morning show on the Cowboys flagship radio station, 105.3, The Fan in Dallas.